Thank you. My name is Stefan Schiessl, and you're expecting now a talk from Everproof, from Sultan Toth. Unfortunately, he could not make it. Everproof, they're doing legally binding, digitally signed, and blockchain certified contracts. So you can do your real world contract on the blockchain. And they are building on the platform of the BitShares blockchain, which I am going to talk about now instead a little bit. So you probably all seen the filler video before, so I will use that filler video to highlight some key features that the platform provides. As a first question, what is the BitShares blockchain? So we like to define us as an industrial-grade, decentralized and public blockchain platform that represents the first decentralized autonomous community that exists. It origins back to 2013, actually, when it was launched. One key thing is that there is no central authority and also no central funding, which makes some things a bit harder and some things a little bit easier. That's the beauty and the curse of decentralization. One key aspect is that it lets the core token holder, which is BTS of the BitShares blockchain, they can decide on basically anything that happens to the platform, all the strategic decisions, what products are going to be there. It will all be decided by on-chain voting on the blockchain directly. It's self-governed, sustainable, and fully decentralized, and we would like to provide a platform that invites businesses to participate and also build upon that blockchain. So I'm coming now to some of the features or highlights of the blockchain. 3-second block times, it's just it represents the mechanisms of the blockchain. It is built on delegated proof of stake. That means that even the block producers of the blockchain, they are decided by voting, and they are taking turns on who is producing blocks. 3-second block time is just a parameter. It could be 2, could be 1 second. So this is all highly scalable, which is the back end of the BitShares blockchain. One thing that makes it easier for the user is that we have named accounts instead of addresses. So users can decide the name, which is then linked to certain private and public key pairs, and those private keys then unlock what you can do with that account. So for that, we also have custom permissions. So you can link an account to a private key that allows you, for example, to only do a transfer of a certain asset, or you can only do voting with that private key, or basically you can restrict a key to anything that the blockchain uses. You can restrict it to have that key only be able to do that, and exactly that. We have a built-in token factory. Anyone that uses the blockchain can create their own token easily by defining the symbol, the name, what is the precision, and so on. And once you have the token on the blockchain, it is immediately usable for anything that is available on the blockchain. And one of those things that is also built in, there is an order book on the blockchain, and also the order matching, completely transparent and auditable within the blockchain. So it offers a decentralized exchange, and there are a couple that are running on top of the BitShares blockchain. We have the possibility to create market-pegged assets. That means that you can create a special token. It's called a smart coin that tracks a value that is outside of the BitShares blockchain. That could be on the Bitcoin blockchain, BTC token. That could also be gold. That could be whatever you imagine. You have a mechanism built in the blockchain that allows you to track the value of an outside asset. So you can still trade that in the decentralized exchange of the BitShares blockchain. You can do asset and account whitelisting, so anyone can come, get an account, buy some of the core token, create their own assets. And now it gets interesting, especially for businesses, if you need KYC or AML or other requirements that you need to know your customers. So you can make sure by whitelisting on the blockchain that only the people or the accounts that you know can actually move the assets, trade your assets, or even own the assets on the blockchain. So you can be in full control as a business. Being also in the area of financial transactions, there is also the possibility to do direct debit authorizations. A very nice use case of that would be, for example, subscriptions to some kind of streaming services. So me as an account owner can authorize another account holder that they can take every week X amount of this asset, all persisted on the blockchain, visible for anyone. You can do bartering and atomic cross-chain swaps as well. Bartering means that instead of using the on-chain or the matching, you can also directly trade with another account by saying, hey, I give you that, you give me something else. We have an invoicing and payment system built in that allows you to build any kind of point of sales system on top of the blockchain, where you can see, okay, this and this item I want to pay with this, or I'm requesting that amount of payment. Everything on the blockchain is free and open source. It's all MIT. Every toolkit, we have JavaScript library, Python library, C++, Java. I think there's even a Ruby one, which is all available to anyone to participate and use and build up on. And that is really the key essence. The BitShares blockchain wants to invite businesses to build up on them, to utilize the features that are available, and then be in the position to define their own target audience of their own product. So you can build your product on top of the BitShares blockchain. The last statement, you can build on the future already today by using the BitShares blockchain. Thank you.
Stefan, I think we have 8 minutes for a short discussion, including questions.
Yep.
So please, Stefan is here.
Are there any questions? No dumb questions, no.
Did you fork your code base from another project, or is it all fresh code?
It is all coded back in, I think it even started 2012, I'm not quite sure. It was in the first steps done by Daniel and Stan Larimer and Nathan Hort that built the system in and called it the Graphene Toolkit. The Graphene Toolkit was then published as MIT and picked up by the BitShares community, who built it out into the BitShares blockchain. Daniel Larimer moved then on to Steam and now EOS, but the BitShares blockchain is self-sustaining since then and still running. And basically any DPoS system that exists is derived from what has been built in BitShares.
But it's graphene-based.
Yes, the name would be the Graphene Toolkit that has been used to create the BitShares blockchain, yes.
I have some more technical questions. In terms of you've mentioned the named accounts, right? And that from there you are deriving the public and the private key.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate a little bit on this?
Not deriving. So when I want to create or use the BitShares blockchain, I go to the faucet. I tell them, okay, I would like this account name, and I would like to have it connected to those public keys. So you have a recovery key, you have an active key that allows you to use any feature of that account. So you persist the account name and the key pairs, not the private key of course, onto the blockchain. And then you can access it with your private keys. And then you can, on top of it, also define, hey, I would like to have a trading key now that allows you to only do trades between those two assets in a certain amount. And then you can tell the blockchain, okay, I have this new key that I would like to use. Please connect it to my account, authorized by one of the previous accounts, And then you could have this trading key, for example, on your phone, knowing that even if you lose your phone, the damage is maintained if that would be exposed.
And what about the token factory? Is it an ERC20 token, or is it something more advanced than that, or?
Well, the token on the Bitures blockchain is basically an ID and a symbol and whatever description you give it, plus some parameters that is defined within the Bitures blockchain. And you don't need to code anything yourself. You create the token via an operation that you broadcast to the blockchain, and it immediately unlocks everything that is available on the blockchain. So it's not a defined standard that you need to code by yourself. You broadcast it via operation, and then it's immediately available as a new token on the blockchain. And you are in full control. You can issue it to whoever you want to. You can do whitelisting first to your liking.
All right. And one last question is about you do support smart contracts.
Say again?
Do you support smart contracts?
The Bitures blockchain does not allow dynamic smart contracts in the sense that anyone can come, code something, and persist it onto the blockchain. Everything is done in a static fashion. That means that you have the code base in C++, you compile it, and then all the block producers run the same code base. And if you would like to have changes to that code base, you need to do an improvement proposal that is to be approved by all the core token holders, and then you can allow the backend to evolve in a certain manner. That has the benefit that the security and also the review process of the code is very, very strict. So you're not exposed to so many security vulnerabilities. So there is no dynamic smart contract. It is all static and undergoing heavy review. Right now we are doing a new backend release every half year.
One question is Bitures is existing a very long time.
Yes.
So why would someone use Bitures, and why would use someone Ethereum, or as you said, because your core developers move basically forward. So how do you see that? So
well,
for which business cases is your chain superior than what is out there, like smart contracts and stuff like this?
Well, there's a lot of competition growing, of course. Daniel Larimer moved on due to funding reasons back then, which is one of the curses of a fully decentralized system. So that's why he left BitShares, but the core team is stronger than ever. We have currently 7 core developers that are funded through the blockchain, helping to make it better and improve the backend. One benefit that the Bitures blockchain has over, for example, Ethereum is the scalability, certainly. We have done stress tests on real life blockchains with over 3,300 transactions per second. So that is something that one of the benefits there, and also the ease of use in terms of token creation or simply token handling. Also decentralized exchanges built in, which is very beneficial for anyone that creates a token. And but comparisons with the multitude of platforms that are there only make sense if you have an actual use case that you would like to realize and to see which is a better fit. In general, the Bitures blockchain wants to invite businesses to build on it. They define what their product is and what their target audience is as basically the second layer.
Thank you.
No, let us thank Stefan for this discussion presentation.
So, thank you again.